Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the Christopher Marc Show. Today, I have the privilege of meeting a legendary, amazing dancer. She does the choreography, the whole nine. Jay, can you tell everybody your full name and what do you do?
Well, hello everyone. I am Jaye Allison. You can call me that dance lady. That's my handle on Instagram and things like that. Let's see, what don't I do is probably the best way to figure me out. But I am a trained ballerina dancer for the concert stage, choreographer, and dance educator, and certified arts management consultant with my degree through University of Massachusetts Amherst campus. I actually am one of those people that spent 4 years at University of the Arts that are now going through real problems, as you may know. If not, it's a real thing. And yeah. So there's plenty that I am through modern dance, tap dance, producing world, and arts management.
Y'all see? Legendary. So, can you... So let me ask you this, like on your journey of getting started with everything, what was that moment where you got started and said, hey, this is when I wanted to start dancing. This was that moment for you.
Oh, I knew in the second grade when I was 7 years old and I saw my girlfriend perform at the amazing Academy of Music Theater in Philadelphia. And it was the revelation of seeing the opening number with an incredible fellow in a spotlight looking like Mr. Peanuts and singing, and the curtain rising, and the tap dance ladies that had glow in the dark shoes and horns in their hand, and the tap dance number just caught my attention. The guy singing, the whole idea of an opening number. I just knew at that point that when I grow up, all of that is what I need to do. That right there. It started it all for me. Never left my mind. I can still describe it in vivid details for you.
Now, did you like on this, like you being a dancer, like did you have support from like friends, family, and stuff like that?
No.
This is important because if you're an artist, most times people get it, sometimes you don't. So this is important. We're good.
Though, everyone in my family has some sort of artsy fartsy thing to them. Everyone's crafty and they can do things. My sister can write, my brother can draw, he can paint paintings of things. My mother is a crafty person. She can create everything from outfits to flower arrangements to headpieces. Everyone has it. They just believe these things are hobbies. They're not anything that you should do to, use as a gift from God, as a means or a purpose to earn money. It's not anything to be educated in. So they didn't believe in that. So the support was not there for my dreams. Or maybe they just didn't know how to support it because no one has ever.
Right.
With the family, it just isn't anything that they did. So no, it just wasn't there for me. I saw an opportunity. An opportunity was brought to me in the 8th grade, while those people at my middle school understood that they had a class of uniquely talented children, and that they could build a musical with. And with that, they decided to let us know that a performing arts school was opening up in Central City, Philadelphia. And if we wanted to get an education in how to become professional performing artists, then we should go there for dance or singing or painting or, whichever instrumental music in whichever direction. So they pointed us in that direction. And that was my opening to get some training. And they saw my heart, I guess, and took me in, and there you are. I'm still dancing and producing and doing things because I can't help it. And I really needed the education. I spent 8 years on that corner at Broad and Spruce Street, from the high school for the creative and the performing arts, and moved right across the street to the college for the performing arts, which became, of course, University of the Arts.
So, in your years of teaching, well, one, when did you know that you were a teacher? Like when, because transitioning from dance to saying, hey, now I'm going to teach this to everyone. It is somewhat of a transition. So when did you know that, say, hey, you know what, I'm a teacher. I know I'm good at, I can teach this.
Well, apparently I was born a teacher. Believe it or not, when I was 2 years old, my grandmother liked to tell me this story, how I used to bother my neighbor across the street named Miss Cahill. Anytime I would see her walking up the street, I would just holler to her, Miss Cahill, come here. I want to show you something. And, I would always show her things that I knew or learned. Whatever it was, I wanted to teach it to somebody. I just needed to. So Miss Cahill was the lady.
Right.
I bugged her about everything, and I showed her everything that I knew, and I needed her to know it too. So my very first year of going to performing arts high school in 1978, September, I went in. I learned that there was a pageant that you could be a part of with the Sigma Delta Theta sorority. They were looking for an Artist of the Year participant for youth to give them, an upward inspirational lift and chance to win some money for their art. So I made my way down to 52nd and Walnut Street and to apply for this Artist of the Year thing. And when I walked into the Raymond, I forget the name of the recreation center, there was a dance class going on. There were chairs in the middle of the floor that these young children, they may have been like 6, 7 years old, used as the bar. And the teacher was my age, and she was teaching them how to do ballet. And I walked in and I was like, hey, well, I can do this too. I mean, I've been learning dance for a month, so I already understand what these young children are beginning to learn.
Right.
So I talked to the woman behind the desk of the recreation center and told her, I'll be right back. I have to go upstairs and be a part of this presentation thing, but I want to talk to you about teaching here along with this young lady teaching dance. I mean, I am training currently at the Performing Arts High School, so I know that I can help. And that's exactly what I did. I came right downstairs after that presentation and became a part of their staff, just like that. So I started teaching right away. I was co-teaching with the lady Cheryl, who was my age, and she was, I think she was a teacher she was a student at Philadelphia Dance Art School. So, she'd been dancing since she was like 3 years old. But she was teaching these children, and she was glad to have someone in there co-teaching with her. So that's how I got my start. And by the time I was 16 years old, the high school performing arts, they're all professional teachers. And our modern teacher had a girlfriend who was opening up a brand new dance school and needed a modern teacher and wanted them to learn that Horton stuff that we were learning. So they suggested that I become their dance teacher. So when I'm 16, I became even more professional dance teacher and was upgraded from just teaching 6 and 7 year olds, to teaching these 5th graders, you know what I mean? And I had those 5th graders for 5 years after that, teaching them modern dance and how to do Horton and flat backs and da 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 da. Oh, yeah. So from the age 16 until I graduated, University of the Arts, and that same class that I started at 16
Mhm.
were a part of my presentation because they were excellent students by then. So hey, fierce, fierce, fierce.
Wow.
Yeah, those
That-
students went right on to become part of my dance company, and which also started the first day of school. And they, when my company broke up, they remained as essential people, staff, directors, co-directors with my partner who I broke up with, and they still continue to do work today under the name of Elion Dance, which I think they just changed it to something else. I can't remember the name, but anyway, they've got a new name. But they are the same children that I brought up from the age of 16, and everyone's doing their thing, and the legacy moves on.
So now let me ask you this: if since you've done all these things, right? You've helped people. What would you say was the most difficult part in your journey? Like, what would you say was that part where it was like, I have to get over this hurdle, and this is it taking a little bit out of you, but you got over it, and it pushed you to just a whole nother level. What was that moment, would you say?
I'm not certain. If anything, it's kind of the opposite. I always felt that I was up there. I didn't know any different. When you don't know any different, you don't act any different. I just came up at a point where the performing arts school led us to believe from walking into the doors that you are here to learn what it is like to be a star. So be a star, understand that you are a star, and then we'll take it from there. So far as I was concerned, I was a star. I didn't know that I wasn't. I didn't know there were things to get over. I didn't know that, so for me, things had a breaking down and not a coming up.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so, everything that I did came easily, such as when I walked into the doors of that recreation center for those two things. At first, I became a part of the Artist of the Year program and the progression, and then I earned the title of being their selected Artist of the Year out of the 6 people that participated. I won that. And then, and also the same day became a teacher in dance. Hey, Miss J, day one. So I didn't know that there wasn't anything that I couldn't do or was not allowed to do. From the beginning, it was just natural. Anything I auditioned for, I got. Pretty much, except for governor school. I was not accepted into governor school of Pennsylvania for summer dance.
Okay.
But then over the years, the company started the first day of school, as I said. Leon Evans went around and talked to people he saw during dance class and thought, you need to stick around and dance with me. You need to stick around and dance with me. You need to stick around and dance with me. And he walked around and he would whisper in all of our ears about what he thought about us and why don't you stick around after school, and I want to build a dance troupe and we want to perform for the opening of the school, kind of a thing, which was going to take place in 6 weeks. So let's do that. Stick around after school and let's do something, which we did. And that sticking around after school built itself into a continuing process, and we remained together throughout the 4 years in high school, where we traveled back to our schools that we left, alumni, our middle schools or elementary schools, and we would perform there, and other fun places that we could find. And then when we moved into college, graduated, okay, just Leon and I, and there were 2 other young ladies who were younger than us that stuck around to be a part of the group. But the group started out with 4 people at that point. We changed the name and became Leja and moved on with our bad selves. And Had a concert right away in October of the year I started college. So, bing, bam, boom. There wasn't anything that I did not know we should not do. I just didn't know. So
Right.
everything I got from that point forward was like backlash for being so far ahead of the curve,
Right.
more so than, because I'm such a baby in the field, I'm learning these things backwards.
Right.
And he was a Broadway star, so I've got entree everywhere he goes. I didn't know there wasn't anything I couldn't do. I just didn't know. But people teach you along the way afterwards. Oh no, it's only because of him that you were even here and stuff like that. I'm like, what?
How dare you?
I had no clue that I just, I was some kind of an accessory until much later on. And then it came through maybe about, starting in like 10 years and stuff, that girls really were a dime a dozen. And then things started getting cut out from me because I was not him. It was weird, but that's how I learned. So it was never a coming up. It was more of a breaking down.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think that's sometimes even on the journey of whatever you're doing creatively or otherwise, you are going to come across people that they're on that level, and then you're kind of like connecting with them. And so I just, my main thing was just trying to connect where people can see, okay, what was the the trials and the struggles that came in for you, because it seems like a lot of things come naturally for you, like when it came to teaching and dance and things like that. So it was like, but I think every great journey has that that moment.
Yeah, well, if you're gifted, you're gifted.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
You just don't know the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
It's always your resources and those who are there to support you, your support group that keeps you uplifted or drops you. That's how that works. So for me, everybody kept dropping me because, I guess they just really wanted to prove they were the smartest ones in the room.
Yeah.
I was the gifted one. I was the one they were earning all of their money off of. But
You were, yeah. You had it, people, everyone, it's like, how come this person, because there's certain people where they just have it naturally, and there's certain people where they just have to work for it. And I want to segue into this question for you. How hard, because I wanted, for the people who are out there who thinks to themselves, okay, well, I see a dancer dance, I can do that too. Y'all notice how she laughed about that, right? So just, okay. So I wanted to ask you a question. How hard is it to be a dancer?
That's the reason I spent 8 years on that corner. When I learned, during that first month of being at the Performing Arts High School, that it takes 10 years to become a dancer. It's the dance training.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, my first 2 years straight of training, I was in constant pain. I'll never forget the day that I refused to go to school. My dad had to come into the room and be like, why aren't you out the door? Oh my God, I just hurt so much. I don't want to go. Oh, I hurt so bad. And I just knew he would understand because he was a long distance track runner from Overbrook High School. So he should know how the muscles work and why it's painful. And he said, his words of wisdom to me was, well, the only way you get stronger is if you get up and keep moving. And I was like, are you serious?
This is your advice? How dare you?
That part. You do not mean get up and I can't move. This is about 2 months into training. And I mean, the soreness in my body I couldn't. Well, I still crawled my ass out of bed and, pulled my act together and went to school that day.
Mm.
It was quite painful. quite painful, but it got me through, and I knew I wasn't going to get anything but that from him any other day. So he made sure there was like Tylenol or something at home when I got home. So here, take this and keep on living, girl. But 2 years straight pain, and suddenly one day, at the end of my sophomore year, it had to have been somewhere, at the end of my sophomore year, it just wasn't there. I went to stretch and I was fine. I didn't think about it. It may have taken about a week for me to realize I don't have any pain. Oh my gosh. And and that was the first summer that I learned that I shouldn't go down south and go eat for the summer. I need to stay around and actually keep working. So I got myself a summer job with the City of Philadelphia Recreation Department, and took a boombox around to different locations, and I taught dance. And that's how I kept in shape throughout the summer. And from that point on, I could do a split and stretch into a split so much easier. But it took 2 years to even create enough muscle relaxation and memory that I could make a split in any direction.
Right.
So it wasn't easy at all. Teachers had to call me out of my dance coma because I'm focusing so hard on what they're trying to tell me to do that I'm surrounded by these other individuals that have been doing it, seemingly all of their lives. And I'm just catching up on the vocabulary, on what it takes to even stand on one leg, just all the discipline that it requires. I didn't know. I'm learning this stuff. So it was hard, and it was painful, and it's awkward, and you have to get over people seeing you look like that.
Right.
And then you do one day, and everything is much more comfortable, and you feel better about what you're doing, and then you keep going. I wasn't the only person in that class who had just begun training for the first time either. So there may have been about 6 of us, about 5 girls and 2 guys that had never trained before. And all of us had to go through that. All of us. Just blind faith that we can do this. And no one gave up. No one gave up. It was just one of those things that we knew in our hearts that if they picked us to be at this school, and they told us they picked us because we're stars, then we had to work like stars. Period. What was that movie with Michelle? Something Minds. And she was the
It was like she was teaching high school, right?
Right, and everybody started out with an A+.
Yeah.
And right, that thing. So it was kind of that beginning for us.
Right.
They're like, look, you guys are stars. You just gotta act like it. Let's give you the tools so that you know what kind of star you are.
Yeah.
And the only way you're not a star is if you don't follow through with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way it was for us back then with those teachers.
So now y'all know it's not easy to dance. When you go to a performance and you look at a person doing something, they make it look easy.
If we don't make it look easy, then trust, we didn't train very well.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're going to move on to the next. So let me ask you this. If you had to, for a person who's maybe deciding to go into dance or things like that, and they're kind of, going back and forth within themselves, can I keep doing this? What would be that thing, that inspirational thing that you would tell them to keep them going?
if you can't get it out of your mind and you can't get it out of your heart, if you keep dreaming of it, then it's meant for you to do it.
Mm. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You need me to say that again? If you can't get it
No,
out
no,
of your
please,
mind,
please,
if you
please.
can't get it out of your heart, if you're dreaming of it, it's meant for you to do. That work is for you to do. You can't push it off on somebody else to do it. You can't sit back and watch it. It will make you too uncomfortable. You have to do the work. It's meant for you to do it. Or it will bother you into the grave.
It's very true. It's very true. I understand. So where are you at now on your journey? Like what are the things that you're doing now?
I'm accepting that we don't get younger.
Okay.
It's pretty difficult to accept because as an artist, you still have those dreams that just come through, things that you see happening. And but things happen in your physical body that limits you from doing them certain ways. So you have to adjust. So for me, I'm adjusting in every direction that I possibly can. I've already adjusted my lack of teaching 5 days and 7 days a week, and how that changed how my body works. I moved it over into making dance on film for a while there during the pandemic because we were inside and dance still needed to be shared somehow. So I switched over to putting dance on film. The thing that most pointedly moves me forward was being able to learn tap dance with the master, Lavon Robinson, at the University of the Arts. And he made it, we called him Papa Smurf because he looked just like Papa Smurf. And he would say to us that as long as you have your legs, you can dance. If your legs give out, well, then it's time for you to stop. So when you do modern dance, good for you. Your hips and everything else might do tricks. But when you're tap dancing, so long as you can, move those legs and walk, then you can tap dance. So training in tap dance became very, very important. And I needed to dig more into that as I matured in life. And I was able to do that. And I know exactly what he means when he says, until your legs give out, child, just tap dance. So I can still do everything else, just leg extensions and that kind of stuff. That ain't happening the way it used to, of course. So those things are all limited. However, teaching those things are not limited. Performing those things are. But being able to tap dance and to satisfy something as unique as the first recognized art form that was truly American,
Right.
is an important legacy to be a part of. And it's something that people forget that they love. When you hear tap dance, it captures your attention immediately. Like, what's going on there? And then you have to go see it because whoa, what am I listening to here? Especially if it's a really good tap dancer, not I don't know, baby tap dancing, I guess, but things that are rhythmic, things that move you, things that feel like you heard a band or a solo singer. If the sounds are giving you that drive, then you need to go see what's happening with that. And that's the beauty of tap dance, is that it really captures your attention because it's like the drum and it's from your soul. And with that, you can keep moving, until your soul leaves your body. So you got it.
So I'm gonna I appreciate you for sharing all of this and everything that you've done and support and helping people and being an inspiration for so many people. So how can people find you or connect with you?
You can find me at That Dance Lady on Instagram and on TikTok, and I think on Twitter. Otherwise, look for Jaye Allison on Facebook, or Jaye Allison Jada. Jaye Allison Dance Academy is what that stands for, because after hearing all of this about me, you understand why I consider myself to be a dance academy. I've got all the components. Ta-da! So I am a dance academy. Jaye Allison Dance Academy, Jada. Look for Jada or the name Jaye Allison, and put Jada in it, and you'll see things attached to me. Jaye Allison Dance Productions. You'll see Jaye Allison line of clothing. You'll see books that are associated through those names. And my website, Jaye Allison, JadaDance.com. JADANCE.com. JadaDance.com. Those are the ways to get in touch with me. Or just pretty simply, if you can remember my name, Jaye Allison, you just got to know how to spell her. My God. My mother did a lovely thing by making my name Jay that no one thinks is a real name, but it's just like the bird in the sky, Jay, added silent E because I'm a girl, and regular old Allison, Allison. So JayeAllison at gmail.com. Reach out, say what you need. I will respond. It's what I do.
And we're going to create a profile under the Dream Society for Jaye as well, so you guys can connect to everything she has over there as well. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for pushing through everything. Thank you for thank you. Because it's I know you do a lot for people, and sometimes when you're giving and giving and giving, you don't hear the encouragement sometimes. So I appreciate everything you've done, even for the things that I know about so far. I appreciate everything you do.
I appreciate hearing that. You're absolutely right. I hardly ever hear that. Thank you. It's like, what is he saying? You're welcome. My gosh. Say it again.
Oh man, well, it's good having you here on the show, and I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you learn that dancing is not easy. It's a whole journey, but if you are on that journey, don't give up. All right, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.